Well, good morning, church family, as we gather today for day 4. I hope you've been able to keep up with each of the days this week, but today we're going to focus on the aspect of planting without promises being given. You know, the gospel tells us when we are to share what Christ has done for us that we're called to sow a seed, to plant, but nowhere are we responsible for the harvest that will come. You see, the responsibility of the harvest is God's responsibility. We're just called to be the faithful planter in sowing the seeds. In 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 6, the Apostle Paul, as he's writing to the church in Corinth, he talks to them about the growth that they were experiencing and where some of it came from. They were having some divisions over who did what and who was following who. And Paul tells them this. He says, I planted, Apollos watered, but God gave the growth. You see, we're called to plant a seed. Right now, in my community where I live, there are farmers that are already tilling up the ground for their seed drills to come behind, and they're planting wheat right now in October. This wheat's going to go into the ground, and in the next couple of months, somewhere around December or so, we'll start to see that wheat begin to grow. And later in the beginning of next year, that wheat will become harvested. But see, they're planting right now in hopes that God will bring the increase in the months to come. That's a lot like what we do. So I want to encourage you that when we plant the seed of faithfulness by sharing the gospel, we can relax in feeling that we're responsible for a person's decision. We can relinquish control of that and recognize our role as a faithful seed sower and God's role as the faithful gardener. He will provide the increase. So what seed are you delaying on sowing today because you're afraid it won't grow? What conversation do you need to have with someone to help plant that seed and allow God's people and His purpose to cause the growth? Where are we carrying a weight of the outcome of a decision that's not ours to carry? I found great comfort in realizing years ago in sharing the gospel and evangelizing and telling people about my faith, I'm never called to be responsible for the outcome, but I'm called to be faithful in planting the seeds. What a weight off my shoulders. What a burden of relief. God gives the growth. So I want to encourage you. Take that seed that you know, the seed God's given you, and sow it somewhere today, this week, in the weeks to come, and let God give the growth in our life. God bless you. Have a great day 4 with the Ministry Minute.